I just like I thought I was working like you didn't see the 5,000 with this 6,500. Is this capacity that you are applying for? And I sent it to a mentor outside, don't look at the application. By the time he sent back and wrote down what was needed to do, I said, oh, thank you for letting us. Let's hope, and I was excited to see that this had happened. Although we had some little hiccups along the line, so those are because of being difficult for our manager, we tried to because to intervene and we started. So basically, the issue that was to be addressed by the beginning of this grant, and one of the key points of the proposal was looking at how we can mitigate the digital skill deficit that we had already observed. We all agree that during the COVID, the pandemic period, it was very evident to us that there was digital skill gap, especially for teachers in the low and middle income countries. And of course, having highlighted that skill gap, a lot of organizations, governments, and all that began to look at how they could close that gap and a bit. And then before we could do brick or spell digital, at which AI was impacting and influencing and transforming things at a faster space than even technology integration and advancement. And if we are not careful and we don't look at how we can intervene quickly, we will have another new generation of people. And so the project was focused on how we can mitigate and by ensuring that our teachers are also empowered with awareness and the skills required to act effectively and use AI even in their teaching and practice. And that was what founded the research topic AI in pedagogy, which included developing the education guides, that's the educational AI literacy in the low and middle income. We had basically 5 key points we set those to achieve in this project. One was to assess the current level of AI awareness and pedagogical skills among school teachers. We were focused on teachers as it were. Then also to develop and implement a tailored AI training program based on our findings further enhance their practice. And also evaluate the effectiveness of the framework using a focus group approach. And finally, to find means of implementing what we are doing and what we are doing. And so when we looked at AI, you just the word AI is a very wide scope. And then we narrow it to AI literacy. And under AI literacy, we identified 3 main key points of principles or concepts of AI, rather. First is the understanding AI concepts, the application of AI, and of course, ethical considerations. So, we need the AI literacy basically was about having teachers understand the concept, the technologies, the foundational understanding of what AI is, because if you don't have that foundational understanding, you will not be able to apply it effectively. And so then knowing how to use AI, because we talked to my OPI on the technical part, but then how do we apply this to the education sector? And that was the second thing about the institutional understanding. But most importantly, also what are the next considerations that surround the use of AI, especially in education. And so this is the focus of what we are developing. And for the assessment, we took some steps for the assessment phase. This was one of the first things that we took up. First and foremost, because we wanted to be guided, we decided to go through the already existing frameworks, especially those for the global ones, and we have UNESCO, the framework for UNESCO AI, US Education Department also has a framework, African Union and European Union. So the research team, and we presented them at the end, looked at those frameworks, and then we decided that we were going to adopt the UNESCO AI framework because it addressed the competencies that we are looking for. And UNESCO AI framework has 5 aspects. But aspect 3 and 4, were the ones that we actually narrowed down on, which was AI foundations and AI in pedagogy. So sitting with that framework and those aspects of the framework, each research team member developed questions because the UNESCO framework actually was very, very explicit with learning objectives and training objectives and all that. So using that, we were able to develop questions, a full bank of questions that we all contributed while the work was going on. Then we came to review, and then from what we finally stepped down from being guided by the framework, we sent out those questions for review. We actually reviewed locally, and we also sent to the colleague who was in that field that was outside the country. And based on their review for the face and content that we developed the framework. The assessment, but we did not just stop there, we also did the reliability test for both assessments, and they came out with encouragement, a high position that you can see. And then we tested, we now assessed, sent out this assessment to able to get response from at level of awareness and pedagogical skill. And after we had gotten the results of the we did that to give us insights of what we wanted to achieve with research one. Now, when we look at awareness among respondents, among participants, we will assume that because of the hype of AI, everybody would have heard what AI or concept AI. But we found out that even amongst we have teachers who had not even heard of the concept of AI. They had never had the so they were aware. They may be a small group because when you have 6.5% looks like a small group, but 6.5% from 4,000 is not really a small amount of teachers. I'm looking at that again, not generalized. So we do have teachers who haven't even heard of the concept of AI. And that was one of the things that we found. Although the majority of them have heard about AI. But if you look at also the next figure there, even though majority have heard about AI, only about 25% have had any formal training on how to use AI in the classroom. And so the majority of them have not received any formal training on AI. And even despite the fact that majority of them have received training on AI, we had teachers who were already doing it in practice, even without training. But we can see that a good number of them were facing challenges about how they would integrate this AI into the teaching section generally. And this, of course, emphasizes the need for such training that we are trying to embark on. And when actually perceived that they had skills where it was concerned. But one of the major things that we found out from our assessment is how this AI could be culturally relevant to their content. And so after this assessment, we started off to training of this research groups to develop and implement a tailored AI training program. And so we set out to train several teachers in the 6 geopolitical regions of Nigeria. And we work with partners with Google, definitely our sponsors, Madison University, our partner, the Nigerian Senior Secondary Education Commission. They also partnered with us to give us access to these teachers across the 6 geopolitical areas. And let me say, we are the training management partners, so we also got on board this training. So the training started off with a plan of events on the 25th of February this year. The Federal Ministry of Official AI Implementation National Senior Education. We had ministry federal representatives to launch the program. So after this, the purpose, of course, the training day was to empower educators that can be essential knowledge and for effective AI integration, hoping that it will enhance their teaching methodology and eventually improve the learning outcomes of the students, their classes. And so we began this training. The training covered 5 modules. The topics such as AI foundations, data privacy, ethical considerations, practical application of AI in various subject areas, and of course, introducing AI foundation so that at least the teacher has a foundational understanding of what child intelligence is concerned. And at the end of that training, the teachers gain insights into the range of technologies and applications AI applications in education. They also learn how to select AI tools because we don't use tech for tech's sake. There are criteria to selection. Select right AI tools that fits their teaching objectives and enhance students and experience. And after that, we did get some feedback on how the training was from the teachers. And from the feedback also so that we can actually positively implement their teaching methods. They had built on their confidence to use AI in the classroom. And because of the community of practice that we actually developed around this training, it also helps a lot of them to make the training and we encourage superior learning. But most people of all, also recently, one of the participants of the training actually scaled it to a state. So this was from a participant of the training to a scaled up to Kwara State and did the same for teachers in the state, having learned from what we did. And this is a testimony of the part of the project. So that for the practical 3 was to co-design the educator's assistant intelligence framework and guidance framework. So you have an AI pedagogy library, which is actually almost close to completion, but requires proofreading and all that before we start public, so that teachers can have access to this material. We had quite a number of results in library. We also developed the AI pedagogy, which is a framework, because there are a lot of technology integration frameworks. We wanted to have one that was simple for teachers to understand and use. And for this research, we have developed a framework that has the 4 quadrants: the what, the why, the how, and the when of AI in pedagogy. So basically, how do we go about the framework? Initially, I reviewed the present AI integration frameworks that are in existence between the year 2021 and 2025. And looking at that, all that, identify some of the gaps. That was what actually led to the formulation of the development of the EDAIL framework to work. So what basically is understanding AI tools and how teachers can identify tools that are relevant for teaching and learning. And then why use that particular, so why use AI? So there has to be a purpose to be able to define the purpose of use before you actually use. And then when in the timing circle will you use it? Because if it's not needed at all, that pedagogical circle, then there's no need. Because you have to be able to identify when you want to integrate it, having understood the purpose, and then how. So there's the pedagogical aspect of it. There should be that, demonstrating some pedagogical use and of course technical use. So there's the right way to also use AI. So that's what the framework covers. Now, this was done as a draft with other tools to enhance the use of the framework. But the set was a code and we have a sprint which was held in May, where we had 24 stakeholders come together, house, hosted, fed, and all that, so that we could just focus without a break on validating the framework and the tools associated to behind the framework. So we had the co-design sprint. We have students there, undergraduate, postgraduate, teachers, people from the law, and places, AI expert, lecturers, and secondary school teachers. And so we had a good presentation of all the various stakeholders, even at the co-design sprint. And we came out with actually the AI integration rubric. We have a lesson plan templates that follows the AI. So these are toolkits that are also validated during the co-design phase. So this is just a sample of what the AI integration rubric is, so that at least the rubric you can assess your job, or you can assess your coach, or whoever it is, on how, at what level AI will be across the four dimensions of the rubric, and measure yourself, develop or exemplary level. So the rubric was designed on that page. So for the focus group, which is the research group 4, we have a training for teachers that were within the university community here. And we have that 2-day capacity development workshop, which held on the 11th of June at the main campus here. And we created also a committee of that. The idea is that as school reviews, we follow up with the teachers as much as possible to see how this has impacted their teaching and learning. Their lesson plans, development, their classroom presentation and education, training engagement, and all that. And we further follow with them, finish trace that study of both more skills and then for research profile dissemination, while we are still at this one of the dissemination project, we also have shared this project both locally and internationally across different audience groups. And we also have a YouTube channel where most of the trainings and our modules are also hosted in that channel for people to also access and use. So in summary, we've gone through the assessment phase, through the co-creation phase, the digital training, we had the program launch and all. We've done, we are doing disseminations on social media platforms, YouTube channels, through conferences and seminars, of course, eventually through publications. We already started working on that once we do our analysis and ready to publications. So our research focus has actually been first and foremost, the first where we started on the review of the integration frameworks. We set out also to assess the level of AI foundation literacy and pedagogy among teachers, and of course, eventually the impact of this whole project on the pedagogy of Nigerian teachers. Basically, this framework. And to conclude this afternoon, I want to say that AI can be a catalyst for deeper learning, especially when used intentionally. It becomes more than a tool. It becomes a gateway to curiosity, to innovation, to lifelong learning. And teachers, we remain central to this transformation. So, a tool that is built for the educational purposes, that teachers don't have an understanding of how to maneuver, then that tool will not affect, will not get the expected impact. And so teachers remain very central to this transformation. And so just saying that the future of education in itself is not AI, neither is it just about humans. The future of education as we go forward is AI with humans. And so I just want to say a big thank you to my project team. Most of them are here. Most of them are not. Most of them are here. Just a few of them are not here. And Dr. Sekina Solorishok also set out my co-PI on this project. I also want to appreciate Dr. Benga Ketolalu from Dicora. He was also very instrumental in the project. Thank you so much. He was the technical person behind all that. I'm blessed to have people like that. This is Lekora who was the community engagement person. We are part of the key research team projects in the made this a success. And of course, to our partners, Global Research, Academic Award, we're grateful for this opportunity. University management, thank you so much for being very supportive. SPTech staff, they were amazing at this point. EDAIL training team, some of them are here because we had to work with almost 30 master trainers. We had 24, 2 per each group, and then we had other 6 people ready to jump in case there was any technical issue, because training 6,000 teachers across the nation was not rice and beans. And we had that training, we engaged them for 7 weeks, so we had to work with 30 people on that team. And of course, the teachers who participated in the focus group training, we want to also say big thank you appreciation also to the entire Olurinola University community. But I want to also give a special thanks to my family. Late nights, there are days, and especially my husband who just walked in. Thank you. Sometimes you don't play and give me a cup of tea or a cup of juice or a cup of, without saying much, doing that. Well done. And I really appreciate you for the support, and I just want to say thank you once again to everybody. So this is
Thank you very much. Can we appreciate? The Vice Chancellor, sir, the last time we had the Good to AI learning training program here, there was nothing like it. But today, maybe because we're having somebody from the United Kingdom, just as a reminder that you are now in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Can we appreciate Dr. Olurinola once again for that? So, of course, there's no way you'll be in OOU. Thank you very much, sir. There's no way you'll be in OOU without having to impact positively on your society or immediate environment or community. So, on this note, we want to once again appreciate Dr. Olurinola for giving us that visibility in OOU. And we appreciate her once again. And of course, Dr. Sekina Solon, so we appreciate you. Without wasting time, let me humbly invite somebody who has been personality that behind the whole success in everybody in Olurinola in terms of academic excellence, research breakthrough, and of course, high impact research work in Nigeria today. There's no way you scholar without talking about supervisor. I humbly invite the lecturer entrepreneur among us, the citizen scholar among us, the vice chancellor of Olurinola, the chief professor, and let's see how the ceremony. As far as our scholars who want to start Ramadan, the lecture of this particular business, again, this is our first time. This is number 6. I'm glad to be here. I'm very sure that this program will come to an end some months ago. But for my instruction, I want to keep the process and the one that carries everything that happens. I thought today I will free, but unfortunately I still have to speak every day. I thought every time to attend and find together, even though like I said, that we are going to have big numbers of having this year. I mean, 40,000 candidates, people, 42,000 people. I thought like what to have last year with 1,000, starting with 1,000, not less than, I think now, class of 2,000.
So even with that, I think that people are very good at time. But trying to have a political quality, they have to push the leaders out of the. So I'm very sure that without the permission your name to follow him as the policy because they are actually having a strategic position for this position to be successful. But because of the respect and the love that we have for all of them, we need to abandon everything in the day and take care of our. But a success story for you. Initially, when we won the first one for $50,000 in government, was so impressed and thought, oh, that is the way that I have. Before I opened my eyes again, I saw that email that was over me saying that one of my staff has also won another $50,000 for the same person. But it was a very special one. After I do not present that, they also wrote to me that they are going to deploy it. And they said the person does not have to take it. And I was so shocked that one would have done that. And the sudden signing lots of letters, newspapers, and all that. Saw newspaper down, symbol of the where the mention that holy of the great letter and different and so we have to start writing to go doing all those things in writing and showing how to write and it was a very lot of work. I have to send both of us university today to start back to say that this is what happened. At the point we prepared up and then no, people cannot go to get it. But it was defend the integrity of the universe. So when we remove these issues that we don't have to get it. And that was one of the people that have to do because we want to see what they have done. In your problem, if you have these things, and then definitely when we are so what have we done? So when you have a problem, okay, we have removed everybody that did the jam and addition and all that. So we have transferred all of them to that place. You have to send letter to them, show them that this thing has been done before they can finally approve that we get the one. So I thank you for the space and service for 2 years. You would have gone that far, would have followed. You also need to write your own so that you would have to write. The thank God that things has come to pass and the program has come to pay 106,000. That's the great thing. I also want to inform us that that time we did very well because of people that put that in there, all this process. This year, I've done program, similar to thought we're able to get our work for the next level. And of course, in 2 years, one of the years how to clear the sense, we have all these issues of agenda. But I'm very sure with last year at the world of favor, and learning together and working. And so now we will see all the but when I begin to carry work, this was the direction. It is easier. Well, I'm actually interested, not very someone. I'm actually interested in how to about that. Because what? It affects all values. Because today, you don't do anything without analyzing the exam. And people have said that in the next 3 years, artificial intelligence will take over the work of everybody. But I listen to our happy that because each one is mine, that cannot be considered in the it's also not the mind. So it's going to be the population of the people. So what they try, that people are not likely to take over the of both people that are serious to do. Artificial intelligence will only over the work of people that are not ready to work. If you are ready to work, you apply the artificial intelligence in that direction. But if you are not ready to work, people will use robots to replace you. And that is exactly what happened. Because nobody really cares. I was actually looking at 3 things that something you do last time. One, I want to solve the problem of the environment. I have bombs. 50,000 plus 45. I'm supposed to have for 7 and 5. The number always have 10%. And then I'll go to town, go and use for Mala, and then those from the road plan to the village of this amount to them. Okay? So that's what I said. When I look for robots to do this work, the next time I go with, and I saw that I should not in Nigeria having to report. So I did the calculation. I think it's still okay, but I think it's very good. And we're having 1.5 million people. So if I'm able to buy, say, 3 of them, and it's enabled by solar, and power it, I'm going to work for 12 hours. And that will solve my problem all the years. I don't need anybody. Because we work for 12 hours per day, in a month, you apply every year. I will not take over the job of people that are not ready to work. That is the truth. That is the truth. When I look at it, and I say, oh, this is what we are talking about. Again, I look at the problem that the class is also facing. Look at the classes that people talk about all this one. You don't have classes, people will shout, there's no certificates, there's no data. And then you ask yourself, there's nothing you can do about artificial intelligence, you don't have any data. You must have data. And so what they imply is that if people refuse to do the work, you can fill in your data right from day one, and then you have to go back to it. And that is the truth. And that's what we've done. There's no evidence in the diagnosis of pathological cases. And that's what we've done for the issue from the resident doctors. So I look at it one day. Now, by the time you train your machine, you take over the work of so many. But you don't take over the work of those that still need their brain. You don't take over those ones. No matter what you train down for, if you take over your brain, because you see how it's not training that you don't do that. It's only training to the extent of time. And knowledge is developing every day. So that is to continue to develop another one. So it's going to go down there and agree with that the push-up is going to be intelligent with women. But because we don't have to make. So that is the basis of technology-based economy. And I'm able to solve a lot of problems using this one I know for safer side. You put everything online, make it usable. Today, as I'm talking Government state that was shared community anymore to do that. So they didn't go to. And then when I was in school, I was allowed to walk from Sedan, go to every day, people in Sedan will go to 15 departments, the professors want to 15 departments to do 60 students. So that time, I think I was assigned in my class. So then go from one talking to the other, to deciding and having a people. After that, you come to go with do all that again. Of course, God help you to go to library. That was really person. People that really don't let that time. Before the Bible allows you to enter the place, go and suppose the problem. I'm not going to that. You know? And then even the sport to the center now, nobody has ever gone from the front to go and go everything there. Go there on the day of class. And then before they start for you, they want to go, nothing for you. You that are not of them. At the end of the day, went from saying that 20,000 naira, because when you are paid, there was collect money to pay. Because before they collect it from you, was wrong. Even if I can't go to see ourselves every day, the end of this way, and you go. If you don't go, it will be wrong. So you can see what some of the all these AI companies that take the website. All people that are going to hide, they help me a lot. And they help me a lot. Because there's effort to solve all this problem. You can plan. You can put your budget, bring money. Now, when the student comes in for pursuing the graduation, everything is important. So I can see the number of students I have. When they pay, I see what to pay. When the rent is, I see the rent. I think all those things together, and then I can plan for examination. Which kind of all of it, how many of them actually register? Because like before, on the day of examination, you can't pay for media. You see taxes that you saw that student. You get to the law of 2,000. Then you have to how many. But now, you can actually plan. You know, so this, I don't know why people are saying, and the way is each day, life of secondary school, life of primary school, in the center, in shining their function, life of the game. When they get there, just stability in the past. No nation is not better than the other. So it's better for us to start right, to stop blaming the teacher. I've said this several times. Leaders demand of the majority of the people. If majority are corrupt, you get the corrupt. They will fight that the corrupt people will fight you. But if the majority are not corrupt, survive. Otherwise, you are surviving. I'm not surviving because all the things I've been paying to prepare the schools. And I'm using all the things you are saying here to solve the problem. So I will continue to give more and more support to all of you, whatever you are going to do. But the don't wait. And I keep on saying this all the time. So this is the rest. I don't even know that I'm going to ever teacher again. They are the ones that started with me. Can we go and buy scanner? Let's scan all documents from the data. You can scan it. Don't try that to see how we can solve the problem of that. Today we don't have that of problem. Before, you don't even know graduated from the course. Everybody is going to shout. I can't tell my mercy. Save my soul. And every time I see save my soul, I need to come to this thing. God is never going to for us. I'll see those cases. You close to them. The two of them have done beautiful. They came with him and they did all the The islands that also won. They are the islands that we won. That island wants us to do SCP or mobility. When we do that, because they have been training us there. We did all these. If they don't have interest, there's no way to have them. We have to pay for it. We have 1,000 students signed to, and the training themselves are not serious. And with this, when you want to apply for that back, this is easier. The only way to invest them to invest in the next year. Then you are sending it out to us that we are working on. And all the thank you for the day of you must in a good life. As you do this, the government also help you in all of this. Those that are the partner, those that are possible to start also to begin responsibility for you to excel. And I'll tell you, don't just come at this. And make the issue on we've been covering gradually the time of 6,000, time of 3,000, now it's 50,000. And I'm very sure that the next one is the data platform. So for those of us that are only by not possible, that is the issue of research. In any research, if you don't fail, you will pass. And that is why we have to buy it. For every research we have to buy it, it's kind of organization. So which means that most people has a possibility of failure. So there is no way when you do pilot, some will work, some will work. So if you don't try it, you won't get it. Now that they've done it, confidence is that problem. Because the one, and so that we can discuss specifically because you cannot reduce women only very because we do well. So Olurinola, thank you very much for also thank you very much for the support. And when there's a city, the Colorado to start attacking, obviously, on the doctor is only for the doctor to back. So, start the way to test the doctor. I think going to go for the doctor of HR, of course, maybe graduated doctors in Sagam. So, I will start with their on the behalf that have also gone. So, my main goal is we need all the support. That's really and I want to thank all of us for being thank so if we go participate, I will allow President to take care of all these positions together. Skipping and further adults can take charge of because of the what are your programs that you participate that we talk to photographers so that we can have photographs ready and allow us to so that we can have the memory of today's work in my life. That